There once was a boy turned into a dog. This doesn't happen every day. If it did, the world would soon be short of boys and overrun with dogs. What's more, it would hardly be a story worth telling. It would be like, there once was a boy who had breakfast, or there was once a boy who walked down the road. Luckily, for storytellers at least, that isn't the way of it. There was a common happens in this world and uncommon. So, there was once a boy who turned into a dog. The boy's name was Eric Banks. He was 10 years old. The dog he turned into was a Havanese toy poodle. Eric Banks was a quiet boy, most of the time steady worker, methodical, his school reports said. He was the kind of boy who didn't make a rush for the back seat of the bus or go mad when the first snow fell. He was left-handed, right-footed, and rather small for his age. He had freckles. Eric lived with his parents and his little sister. Her name was Emily. She was 3. Her dad was a postman. His mom had a part-time job in a shop. Eric himself had a paper round, which he shared with his friend Roy Ackerman. Actually, he was too young to have the round. It belonged to his cousin, but she had a broken arm. And Eric's dad was a friend of the news agent. Eric first turned into a dog little at a time in his own bed. His parents were downstairs watching television. His sister was fast asleep in the next room. The time was 9:10. The day was Wednesday, the month June. Until then, it had been a normal day for Eric. He'd done his paper round with Roy and gone to school. He had 2 helpings of his favorite dinner, and he played with Emily before tea and Roy after. He'd watched television, had a shower, and gone to bed. Now he was in bed turning into a dog. It happened like this. Eric was lying on his side with his eyes closed. He was almost asleep. Suddenly, he felt an itch inside his collar of his pajama. This, although he didn't know it yet, was the first sprouting. He felt a curious tingling in his hands and feet. This was his hands turning into paws. He felt his nose becoming cold and wet, his ears becoming flappy. Eric opened his eyes. He didn't panic straight away. This was his nature, partly. But he also was still half asleep. He thought in his mind I'm turning into a dog. The time it took Eric to turn into a dog, his shape was blurring and rippling like a swimmer underwater, was about 15 seconds the time it took him to become frantic, and it was 5 seconds after that. His first action was beginning to scramble out of bed, trying to get a better look at himself. I am a dog. A dog.